Hi everyone, welcome to Nutmeg Notebook. I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we are the creators of the blog Nutmeg Notebook, as well as this YouTube channel called Nutmeg Notebook. And this is where we share all about our whole food plant-based lifestyle. So we're very happy to have you here today for our live. And today we're going to be talking all about kitchen essentials. So we get a lot of questions about what should I buy? I'm just getting started on my whole food plant-based lifestyle. And so we thought we would do a show about that and help you with that today. But first we have a little bit of housekeeping to do.
We will be taking questions about the topic that she's on as we go through today's program. So please give me 4 question marks before for sure. And if you have time after, that will help those questions jump out at me. And so if we're talking about cutting boards and it's a cutting board question and I'll address it there, we'll be moving on to a number of different subjects today. So try to keep your question about the current topic of conversation. And then we'll mop up anything and everything at the end. But that would help me out a great deal. We do have our moderators here with us today, Randy and Jesse and Tiffany. And so they may well answer a few questions as we move through on the chat feed. And of course, they always have their troll hunting duties, which we so enjoy watching them do. So anyway, with that, Tami, have we said who we are and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you not listening to me at the beginning?
Was I supposed to listen to you?
You were supposed to be listening to me.
I was listening to
It's a long life problem. What? You were talking?
Okay, go.
Okay, great. All right, so which camera?
I'm going to put you on camera 2 now.
Okay, so we've got some new camera, new technology going, and so forgive us as we learn our way through this. Okay, so when you start a whole food plant-based lifestyle, you probably, if you cook, you probably have things in your kitchen sufficient enough to get you going. But if you haven't been cooking at home, your own meals, then there may be some things that you're missing that you don't even know that you need until you start cooking. And believe it or not, a lot of people have gotten to middle-aged without cooking. We get lots of emails regarding, hey, you know, I'm 55 and I'm just learning to cook for the first time in my life. And so that's great. This is a beautiful thing. Don't be intimidated. And we're happy to help you as much as we can. So on a plant-based lifestyle, we eat a lot of vegetables, And so you need some good knives to be able to cut those vegetables. So this is a chef's knife, and this is my favorite knife. This one fits my hand really good. And just because it fits me, it may not fit you. Like Tom doesn't like to use this knife. He prefers a little bit bigger knife than this, but this one fits my hand nice. I'm very comfortable with it. It chops beautifully, it cuts beautifully, and I use it every single day. So I like that it has these little marks on it, these little divots that helps things from sticking, like when you're cutting potato and potato is very wet. It prevents everything from sticking to the knife. So I bought this actually when we were on a trip up to Oregon years and years ago, and we went into a wonderful little kitchen store and I found this knife and oh, I had to have it. So it is initially an expensive investment, but you don't have to start off with a more expensive knife. You can go to Target or Walmart and you can find a knife that will work and you don't have to spend a tremendous amount of money. The important thing is to keep them sharp, and Tom can talk to you about that when I'm done presenting about the knives. He is our knife sharpener, so as soon as they start to get a little bit dull, that's actually more dangerous than if it's very sharp. And so then I'll say, hey, will you sharpen my knives? So I love this one. I use it constantly, but you also need some other knives. This is just a little paring knife. This is a Henckels brand, and we actually bought a wood block and a set of Henkel knives I'm thinking probably 15, 20 years ago at Costco, and we've been using them ever since, and it was an economical price. We actually have linked to our Amazon affiliate store below in the show notes to all the products that I'm showing you. And so these have been great, and if you buy a set, it's usually much more economical to buy knives that way than it is to pick them out all individually. But if you only need a few, then this might be a good thing to do, is to buy them individually. So a nice little paring knife is great. Then a serrated knife, and I love this because if you follow me, you know that I love to take little tomatoes and cut them and use those for garnish on top of my salads, my po nachos, just a lot of recipes. And a little serrated knife like this works great for cutting something that is soft and wet inside, like tomatoes. So I think this is a real important knife, and I use it almost every day. And then just a little bit bigger knife. This is about, I had my measuring tape out here, but I don't have it now. But I think this is a 5-inch blade on this one, and I like this one. This one fits my hand good too, but Tom likes the 7-inch, which is bigger. And so, but this is also really nice for just cutting up smaller things, or if I have to, like I want to cut around a tomato so that I can kind of like hollow it out, or I'm doing a bell pepper. Yes?
Question from Florence.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. A question from Florence. Are all chef knives the same size and or weight?
No, they are not. So they do really vary. And I'm
a
camera too. And so no, they do vary. So they come in different lengths and they weigh different weights. And so you want to go to the store if possible and try them out. Unless you buy from someplace where you're able to return them, like Amazon, you can return them. You know, if you order things from Williams Sonoma or Sur La Table or Bed Bath & Beyond, you know, just make sure that you're going to be able to return something if it doesn't fit you good. And that's why, you know, it's a really good idea to be able to go someplace and actually try them out. So, so they do vary. So if you're going to have your sharp knife, then you're going to need to sharpen it.
You're going to need
and
to,
if you're going to
if
keep
you're going
your
to have
knife
a sharp
sharpened,
knife, you're going to need to marry a knife sharpener.
well, that's what I did. That worked well for me.
Okay.
And when we were first married, though, I used to, like, every time my dad would come visit,
Yeah.
I would have my dad sharpen my knives because he really liked doing that. But
Yeah.
but Tom's very good.
Let me have let me have my knife. Did you pull my knife out of the block? And I'll show.
This one.
Okay.
That's your favorite.
All right. So every knife block that you can get usually will come with a conventional old-fashioned knife sharpener. It's called a steel, and there's just serrations on here, and they work to smooth out, take the chinks out of the blade, and redress the blade, give it a good edge. There are hundreds of YouTube videos on the proper angle, the proper approach and style of this, but you've seen in many a show where they were doing something like this, and what we're doing is we're, you know, tipping the blade at a approximately 20 to 25 degree angle to redress this. So the easiest way to keep your knife sharp is to sharpen it regularly and to do this little exercise once a week. Or if Tammy's doing a big food prep day and making up a bunch of salads, we might dress it, and it just immediately puts a very sharp edge on there. So, you know, this is actually, did you say something about your dad? This is actually, this steel is from my grandfather. And it was, you know, used on the farm back in the 50s and 60s. And then this handle I made as a 7th grade junior high wood shop project.
It's awesome.
So it's got a lifetime warranty, I think.
I think it does.
Now, the sharpening steel is a little bit of an art, and it can be intimidating. We have this on our website. This is a real easy carbon steel crisscross affair where you're just drawing the knife through the carbon steels just straight through like that a few times, and you need to flip it and go the other way just to keep it nice and clean. And then there's a ceramic blade in here to dress it. And I've shown this in other videos where we're just doing it with Tami's mezzaluna knife. And very quickly, again, if you do this every week or so, then it puts a very sharp edge on there. And it works, you know, it works with all the knives. This one, it's such a thin blade, I prefer to use the steel because it has a very narrow angle on its edge. This is set to a fixed edge, and so maybe not optimal for this guy. So anyway, just go to YouTube and Google knife sharpening, you know, your vegetable knife or your chef's knife or whatever. You'll see some in-depth guides there.
And there are places that you can take your knives to have them sharpened.
Yeah.
So some of the kitchen stores, you can take your knives in and for a small fee, they will sharpen them. And some grocery stores offer that service as well. If they've gotten really bad, that probably has some merit, but the real trick is to just do a little bit often, and then they'll stay dressed out and nice and sharp. Okay. So any other questions about knives? I don't know where you're going to put this stuff at the end here. Well, we're just going to have to move it. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, Dillon said it's a super chat. Wow. Thank you, Dillon. That was nice. Wait, which camera are we on? We're on camera 1. We need to get some Reeves and Dillon's lessons on keeping track of which camera we're on. Okay, so then you have the knife, so then you need something to cut on, right? And so you need cutting boards. And which camera am I on, Tom? I'm going to put you on camera 2. Okay, and so then you need some cutting boards. So I use a variety of cutting boards. You can start out with something as simple as one of these flexible, inexpensive plastic cutting boards. So these are BPA free. We have like a set of like 20 of these for our cooking classes that we that we did pre-pandemic. And what I like about these is once you cut on them, you can fold it like this, and then you can dump everything into your pot or your container, or it just makes it really easy to transfer the cut items to wherever you need them to go. So speaking of cutting items, yes, you're on camera 1 now. Okay. Reeves says that your knives aren't the only thing you have that are sharp. Your husband's awfully sharp too. Wow. Well, I could just his ego is just going to go crazy now. You're feeding it. We're going to need to go live more often. So anyway, these work really great. And they're inexpensive. You know, they don't last forever. They're going to get a lot of cut marks on them. And then at that point, I worry about bacteria getting caught in them. And so when that happens, then I pitch them. But they're inexpensive. So then this is some kind, do you remember what the composition of this was, Tom? This is a set that I bought recently at Costco. And it's the same stuff that siding for houses is made out of. It's very tough. Except that this is food grade material. Yes. Okay. Oh, he's giving me a hard time. Well, anyway, I really like these. These are very nice. They have them at Costco right now. You get a set of 2. This is the larger one, and then there's a smaller one. And again, you know, I think I got 2 of them for around $20, and so when they start looking bad, then I'll just pitch those. And then we have a variety of wood cutting boards. This is from Holland Bowl Mill, and of course this one is a little more expensive, but it is made from all one piece of wood, which I really like because there's no cracks in it, there's no glue, it's all one piece of wood that they have cut this out from. And then we have a larger one that actually has a rim, like a little, what do I want to say, a little drainage. What would you call it? It's a watermelon juice catcher trough. That's it. Because I get that big one out when I'm cutting open the big watermelons and juice is going everywhere. And Tami likes me to slice everything up into little bite-sized pieces. When I was a kid, we just cut them in half this way and made the big round slices, and you would just eat the whole big, but no, not here. So I cut all the little bite size, and so there's a trough around the edge that catches the
The watermelon juice.
Yeah, and it's good
Yeah.
for like pineapples. If you're
Yeah.
cutting up a fresh pineapple, it's good for that because it has that little trough to catch the juices, or cutting tomatoes or anything like that. And so cutting boards, really important to have. If your cutting board, if you're using like the plastic ones, those can slip and slide around. If you take a kitchen towel and just slightly dampen it and put it underneath, that will help prevent it from sliding all over. And because you really need a steady flat surface when you're cutting, just so you don't cut yourself. So, and I think Dillon in his cooking shows you some really awesome knife skills. And so you might sign up for his cooking classes. Yes. I'm just going to move
Tiffany
these.
is wondering what size the Holland Bowl Mill cutting board is.
I'll have to measure that. I don't remember.
Okay.
Or I'll give it to you and let you measure. How
Well,
about
take
that?
a second here. I think is it 15 by 18 or 12? It's 12 by 18.
It's 12,
12 by 18.
by 18.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good
yes.
job.
Okay, yeah, you're back on camera 2 now.
Okay, so you might also have some cookware that you can go ahead and use. And so if you have any pieces of stainless steel, that could work for you. Yes.
We still have some questions about knives and boards.
Oh, okay, knives and boards. Let's finish up.
All right. So I was going to mention this earlier. This question came from Carol, and thank you for prompting me, because I was going to explain that you don't use that sharpening steel that I was showing you on serrated knives. That is another whole separate YouTube video. There are little round diamond rat tail files that you have to go in and file each little serrated loop as one technique. I find that we don't very often have to do anything with our serrated knives, just by the nature of how they're made and how they're used, because we're use them on tomatoes.
We've not had them. We've never had them
to sharpen them.
No.
So if you're abusing your serrated knife, then that's on you. So I'm sorry.
Wow, he's getting riled.
That might be where you have to take it into the knife sharpening place. There probably is some kind of tool special for those, but I've never had to do it. So camera 2, Tami.
Okay, so in addition to being whole food plant-based, we are also no oil, and we have a video all about why no oil. I think it's called why we are SOS free, which stands for salt, oil, and sugar. So I'm not going to go into why right now. You can watch that video. But because we are no oil, that requires just a little bit of special techniques when it comes to cooking things, especially on the stovetop. So this is a stainless steel pan. I have a video where I show you how you can saute vegetables in this without any oil. In fact, I didn't even use any water, but you can use a little bit of water. But I show you in that video how to do it. It works beautifully. Stainless steel works really well for it. I didn't believe it until I tried it myself, because I thought, how on earth can I do anything in that skillet without it sticking? But it works. And if you have a lid and you have one of these inexpensive little stainless steel steamers, you can steam vegetables in this as well. So this one, we've been married for 41 years. I bought this one the first year we were married. And so this thing has seen a lot of use over the years, and it's still going strong. So they are about $9.99 now. I think we have one on our Amazon page, and again, that link is below in the show notes. But if you have some stainless steel, don't get rid of it. You can still use it. It works great. You can saute vegetables. You can caramelize onions. You can do your mushrooms in it. It works great. Now this is an old Salad Master, and you decided that this is like over 40 years old, because you had this set before we got married.
I got it when I was 19.
Okay, you're not on camera, just so you know.
Okay.
So he got it when he was 19. We have a whole set of it. It's still working
47
great.
years old.
We have replaced a few of the handles, but that's the great thing about the Salad Master is they're still in business, and you can still buy your pots and pans from there. Now, the other pan that I love is my ScanPan. Now I'm telling you, this is a premium price for this ScanPan. It is made, is it Denmark, Tom? Tom knows more about this because he did all the research on the, when we were looking for a non-stick pan. So this is 5 quart. It's 12 inches diameter. It's 3 inches deep, and it has the non-stick surface. It's ceramic, and they don't make it exactly like this anymore, but we have the new version that they have on our Amazon page, and I absolutely love it. So we got the one with the 2 handles rather than the one long handle. There was a couple reasons for that. One, I wasn't sure how it was going to fit with a long handle in my cupboard, because my cupboard where I keep pots and pans is underneath the stovetop, and I have roll out, pull out drawers in there, and I was afraid that that handle was going to be cumbersome, and Tom didn't think that once it was really full with a lot of veggies that I would be able to hold it by one hand and actually be able to pour the contents out of it into another container. And I'm really glad that he talked me into getting the double handles. So these don't take up a lot of space. It's great because I can lift it up and I can pour the contents out into another container. It came with the glass lid, which I really like when I'm sauteing vegetables in here, because I can put the lid on and then I can watch and see what's happening inside. So, and then we ended up leaving it on the stovetop all the time because we use it all the time. So I am glad I don't have that long handle sticking out, just because I leave it on the stove all the time. So I love it because nothing sticks in it. And we just shot a video yesterday of how we brown, I just lost the name, plantains. Woo, had a little brain fart going there. I can brown plantains in here. I can brown my veggie burgers in here, my breakfast sausages that I make out of oats. I can do everything in here without it sticking. So I just love it. Pancakes, everything works in here. It's fantastic. So now this is a premium price. It's not inexpensive. The kids went together with Tom to get this for me for Mother's Day a few years ago, and I use it constantly, and I really, really like it. But for a good economical non-stick pan, because in stainless steel you really can't brown like veggie burgers or the breakfast sausages in there. You would end up needing to put those in the oven and baking them. And personally, I just don't like how they come out of the oven, veggie burgers or the sausages. I just feel like they get too dry for my personal taste. This is a T-fall pan. That's just a T-fall, F-A-L, and it has a glass lid. It has a non-stick surface, and you can get it from Amazon, or if you're a member of Costco, you can buy this at Costco, and they have them in stock right now. I just checked when we were at our store the other day, and it's like around $20, and it is a great pan. Now, I bought this years ago before I had my ScanPan, so now I use my ScanPan all the time. But if I'm doing a double batch of veggie burgers, which if you follow me, you know I love to batch cook. And so if I'm gonna make a mess and make veggie burgers, I'm gonna do a double batch. And so I will brown some of them in this as well as my ScanPan, just to make the whole process go faster. So I think this is just a really good option. It does not have any of the, what are the PFOAs, the things that you're not supposed to have in your cookware. This doesn't have. So you know, do your own research on it and decide if you're okay using this in your kitchen or not.
So that
questions
is,
about the cookware.
So that is this one right here.
There you go.
Okay, so they do carry that. We do have that on our we do have that on our page somewhere.
It's on our Amazon page.
Under the pots, pans, bowls, that big long category where I didn't know where to put everything.
Yeah, so I think, you know,
Camera too.
Whatever fits in your budget. But of course, you can't go wrong with the stainless steel. It's going to last for a very long time. And the ScanPan has a lifetime warranty on it. So if something should go wrong with it, we can always contact the company. And so I like that.
Okay, so you talked to them that this is an old model, and there's actually now this new model, this Haptiq 5.25. This is the same size
as the one, yeah,
as the one that we have, and you know it's got a different handle. It's shinier than ours because when
ours has the brush finish.
Yeah, the one that we have on our website, if you click on it, it'll say currently unavailable, and they don't know when it's going to be back in stock. But this new one now is, I think, what is now the current model of the one that Tami was just showing you. Back on camera too, Tami.
Okay, great. So you have the cookware, then you need, if you're using these non-stick surfaces, then of course you need some utensils that you can use in them. So you can use wood utensils. You just want to make sure that the edges are nice and smooth. What?
The pans are induction. The ScanPan is induction cooktop friendly.
Yes.
I don't know about the about the Tovalo. Is it induction cooktop friendly?
I don't know, Dillon. Maybe Dillon knows because he has an induction stovetop.
Yeah,
or you can look it up and see.
I'll look it up here on
yeah, this one is induction. I do have an induction single burner that I use for my cooking classes and my weight loss classes, and this works beautifully on that, which is really nice. So wood utensils, really buy a little bit higher quality ones. Holland Bowl Mill carries them. We have a link to them below. They have a wide variety of wood utensils that are just really nicely, they're so nice and smooth and finished off beautifully, and they work really well in these. I will tell you that these Tovalo spatulas are silicone. They're my absolute favorite. I have like given these to all of my girlfriends for gifts, and just a couple months ago, one of my girlfriends texted me and she said, I was just cooking and I just wanted you to know that Tovalo spatula you gave me, I use that every day and I think of you every day. She's like, I can't even cook without it. And I'm the same way. We actually have 3 that are just this size because when we're cooking together in the kitchen, we both want to use this. So did somebody have a question, honey?
Oh, it's not. The Tovalo pans are not suitable for induction.
Okay, not good for induction.
There's got to be a layer of ferrous metal iron sandwiched in between the stainless steel and everything else that's going on for the induction stoves to react with. So the all aluminum pans don't have that.
Okay.
Or the very thin, simple.
Are you on camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on camera 1. So the very thin, simple, you know, like an economy great big boil pot, if it doesn't have that plate on the bottom, if it's just all stainless steel but thin, that won't work real well. It's got to have that plate of metal, of iron in there. So
okay, good to know.
Back to camera 2.
All right, so these come, this is my favorite one because see how it's a little bit like the spoonula, and so I can actually use it for serving, but it also works good for stirring, and we use them for everything, you guys, because they can take the heat, and they come in a wide variety of sizes. And another thing that I like about them is that they are completely silicone, so you don't have a metal handle or a wood handle. You know, I do have quite a few still of the spatulas that have the wood handles, but you know, the rubber, the silicone part will eventually come off, or the wood. If you accidentally leave it soaking in water, then the wood swells, and you know, I just worry about the bacteria in those. And so I really enjoy the fact that these are all silicone, and this is the one that is for the high-powered blenders, the to get down in there, and it's angled, and which is really nice because it helps you scrape underneath the blade. And then this one is actually made by Vitamix, and it is silicone, and it is made to fit underneath that blade. You know how we just don't want to waste anything that's underneath that blade, and this does a great job of helping you get that out. So any questions about the silicone spatulas?
There was some comments about there. I had to get up and adjust some lighting.
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to move a couple things.
Okay. There's the induction cooktop. Randy is surprised that she still has a thumb after working with knives. I think Tiffany mentioned there are little gloves that when we bought that little sharpener, that plastic one I showed you where you draw the knife through it, it came with a sharpening glove, so that like if you were holding the steel, you could put that on your left hand and maybe not cut yourself. So there are sharpening gloves so that you don't inadvertently injure yourself. So let's see, and we're caught up. So you can jump right in on the next thing. Let me get you back on camera too.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about blenders and food processors, and Tom, I'll let you move that food processor over now if you don't.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind. So, but first let's talk about the blender. So having a blender, I think, is just like really, really important when you're on a whole food plant-based diet, because we're making literally everything from scratch. And so unless you're buying everything from Well Your World, all your sauces and condiments from Well Your World, which you can, and they are SOS free, and Tom has linked to that below. But if you're going to be making salad dressings or hummus or like my Alfredo sauce or anything that you want to have smooth and creamy, like we make a lot of creamed soups, and the Vitamix or the Blendtec work really well for that. Now, I'm a fan of Vitamix. I started out with a Blendtec blender, and after a couple of years, I ended up taking it back because I had so many problems with it. And so I got a Vitamix. The Vitamix was more expensive for me, but if you shop at Costco, they will have what they call road shows, where they have like the Vitamix sales rep comes in and does demos for a couple of weeks, and they run specials on it where you get a Vitamix for a really good price. Now, Vitamixes come in a wide variety of models and price points, and so this is the Vitamix Elite, and the wonderful thing about this is, well, I was able to buy an extra carafe, so I have a small one for small batches and a large one for big batches, which you know is perfect for me because that's how I like to cook. But then if I want to do a small amount of, say, a salad dressing or a sauce, then it has this little attachment, and I can either do this size, which is also good for like just a small smoothie, or a small amount, like if I want to do a lot of garlic, let's say, then I can put all my garlic cloves in here, and then it will attach on here, and I can do a very small batch, which you can't do a real small amount in the larger blender containers because there just isn't enough volume there to get everything going. So I really like this blender. If you want to get a high-powered blender, watch for Vitamix for their refurbished ones, or they also have sales. And don't forget about checking like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, because a lot of people think, you know, that they're going to get started on a healthy diet and they buy some of this equipment and then they end up not doing it, and so they want to get rid of things. Or ask your friends. You would be amazed how many people have a Vitamix sitting in their pantry or in their cupboard that they haven't used. So the blenders are really wonderful when you want something really smooth and really creamy. And I even like to make my hummus in it because I like my hummus to be really smooth and creamy, and it does a beautiful job. I mean, it comes out looking like store-bought hummus. That's how smooth and creamy it is, and I don't skin my garbanzo beans. And if you make them yourself, your own garbanzo beans, you'll get an even creamier and smoother and delicious hummus. So a blender is really an important part. You don't have to get a super expensive one. I know that there are more economical blenders. We don't have one to recommend because we haven't used any of them. But if anybody watching in the comments, if you have one of the more economical blenders and it works well for you, please let us know. Now also, I don't make a lot of things with nuts, and a high-powered blender is good if you are using like cashews or almonds, excuse me, in your sauces or in your salad dressings. But I have a wonderful salad dressing that's oil-free. It's called creamy balsamic dressing, and it uses beans instead of nuts, and you can make it even in a regular blender and it will turn out beautiful. So we do have this one is on our Amazon page as well, but you can get a better price if you shop at Costco. Yes.
And we just heard on the Vitamix from Drea that Vitamix will have Black Friday sales starting on November 20th. And so keep your eyes open for that. That might be through their direct sales site. Sounds like we had that last year. You know, with some of our companies that were doing that. So
yes, and that's part of the reason we're doing the show right now, is to show you guys these things.
So you can kind of queue up what you're after.
That's right. So you can be looking for the deals that will be coming up. And
while we're on that subject, yeah, I'm on the right camera.
I was on
we're
the wrong.
camera
I was
one.
looking at that one.
Okay, my fault.
Sorry.
I'm supposed to tell her what camera we're on. I put an email into Milty Corporation. We're going to be talking about the pressure cooker and the crisp lid here in just a little bit. I'm waiting to hear back from them. If they're last year they had a nice Black Friday promotion for you folks through our affiliate link, and quite a number of people were able to take advantage of that. This year I don't know what's going on. The lady was checking with the vice president of something to find out if they were going to have enough inventory to support having a Black Friday promotion. So.
You have to remember that the pandemic has slowed down
Interrupted
a lot of
companies.
production.
Yeah,
for
the champion
companies.
juicers were a problem. They just recently came back in stock.
And when we call and talk to the manufacturers, what we're finding out is it's very slow for them to get components right now. So many components are made in other countries, and it's very slow for them to get the components that they need to put the equipment together. And so, you know, they're just having to wait and see what happens.
Back on the Vitamix thing, Alyssa's sharing that she bought her Vitamix from QVC.
Oh.
But she should have waited and purchased one from Costco because you get more attachments on it. And that's one of the things that we were in. One of the enticements was all of the extra stuff we got with the Costco model.
And also with Costco, you usually get an extended warranty. So if the Vitamix comes with a 5-year warranty, then Costco, if you buy it at Costco, you get a 7-year warranty. And so that's also another advantage, and the fact that they have all the accessories too. And do check there right now. A couple weeks ago when I was there, I did see that they had the attachments for the Elite, and so it might be a good time. They weren't doing a road show, and I don't know if they're doing road shows right now because of the pandemic or not. So, but I can tell you that we are extremely happy with the Vitamix. This is like a super workhorse, and it does such a beautiful job of making everything super creamy, and like my Alfredo sauce just comes out like velvety smooth. It's amazing. So can't say enough about it. Love it. Then a food processor. So people ask us, do I need a food processor if I already have a high-powered blender? And actually, they do two different jobs. So like I said, the high-powered blenders are really great for making things really smooth and creamy. And in the Vitamix, like you can actually make hot things in the Vitamix. You can make a cream soup, you can make my Alfredo sauce in it and let it go long enough, it actually heats it up. And so then you don't have to transfer it to a saucepan to heat it up. So that's kind of a really cool thing about the Vitamix. Now, the food processor is better for more coarse work, so something that you don't want to have smooth and creamy. So what I like to use it for is when I'm making veggie burgers. And you can put your beans and your grains and whatever goes into your veggie burgers, and it will do a really nice job of chopping everything up and incorporating it, but without making it super creamy, and unless you let it go too long. It also comes with the blades for shredding and for slicing. So if you want to make, let's say, your own shredded carrots, or you want to make your own shredded cabbage, red cabbage or green cabbage, or you know, it can slice up your celery, it can slice carrots for you. It can do so many things. So, and I also use it like to make the mixture for my brownies, where that would be too thick to make in a blender. But if I want to do my chocolate cherry brownies, then I'll do the mixture in here. So for a food processor, I would buy the largest one that you can afford, because like this is a 14 cup and I can make a huge batch of whatever in this. I can double recipes and still have it fit in here. The nice thing about this particular one is that it has also a small bowl. So it has the 4 cup, and then it has an extender to use and a smaller S blade that fits in here. And so I can use it for large capacity, or I can use it for small. When you buy a smaller food processor, you can't do big batches in it, right? And then you have to take your veggie burger mix and divide it in half or quarters in order to do it. But if a smaller one is what you can afford, then, you know, that's okay, then do it. Now, and I like this one. I don't like cleaning it. I just hate cleaning the food processor, but lucky for me, Tom does a lot of my dishes when I'm batch cooking. So he usually is the one that gets to wash it. But if you want a good economical food processor, our friend Timarie Hagenberger, who we interviewed a few weeks ago and had her on our show, and you can go back and watch that interview with her. And she is a nutritionist. She is a college professor. She teaches a plant-based cooking class, and she uses the Black & Decker. And did I write down I didn't write down on here the model, but it's in our Amazon store. And she said she learned about this Black & Decker from someone who owns a raw food restaurant, and they have a very expensive $1,500 food processor, and they have was it the Hamilton Beach? Tom, I'm on the food processor that Timarie uses. Was it the Hamilton Beach? Not the Black & Decker, it's Hamilton Beach.
Yes.
Sorry, it's a Hamilton Beach, and it's on our Amazon page. But anyway, she said the owner of that restaurant told her that Hamilton Beach food processor could out-process the very expensive $1,500 food processor that they had on a number of jobs. And so that's the one that she uses, and she tells her college students to buy that one, and it is under $40. And she has had hers for years and uses it constantly, and it's still working great. So there you go. You can do it economically as well, and paying more money doesn't always mean that we're getting a better product. And so that's good to know too. I love to read reviews, so when I'm looking to purchase something new, I'll go on Amazon as well as independent sites and read people's reviews to see, because you know, a lot of times you can find something less expensive that's going to work great. So any questions about the food processor? Tom?
There's a question about, is Vitamix going to offer a blender model that includes a stainless steel container by default? Or is there one available separately?
I did hear something about that they have brought a stainless steel container back because people have asked about it. And I also know that they either just came out or are coming out with a food processor attachment for the Vitamix base, but I don't know for what model that is for. But I would just go to the Vitamix website and look there to see what they have. So some people don't want to use the plastic containers, so they are going to have a stainless steel one.
Yeah, that's what Michael had brought that up, that you know, are we worried about the plastic jar on the Vitamix? So you can move away with it, with the glass or the stainless steel.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this appears to be very stable, whatever, you know, kind of plastic it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you're concerned about it, by all means, then look into a different type of blender container.
Okay.
Hey, so now I'm ready for pressure cookers.
Okay.
So Tom's going to bring over, what camera am I on?
You're on camera 2.
Okay. So Tom's going to bring over pressure cookers.
Any particular size? We'll start with the 6 quart, and then we'll just kind of finish out with the large.
Well, bring me the 6.
It's the main.
Yeah, bring me the 6 quart, and I'll talk about it. That's great. I'm just going to move some of this stuff out of my way. I don't think you guys can see the clutter, but I'm going to just move it.
I'll circle around and get some of that stuff.
Okay, great. So this is the Milthy 6 quart, and Tom actually likes the Milthy better than the Instant Pot, because he can set this one to do his steamed vegetables for lunch, and he can set it to do an automatic release, and it'll, you know, as soon as it's done cooking, then it will release the pressure, and so he doesn't have to be in the room when that is needed to be done. I don't know if the new Instant Pots, I know they have some new features. I'm not up on what they have right now, but so that is a really great thing, a great feature about this. Plus the readout on it tells you which function it's in at that time. So I know I was always guessing with my Instant Pot, like, is it cooking? Is it at pressure? Is it coming down? What is it doing? And so this takes the guesswork out of that for us. So this is the 6 quart. I love my pressure cookers. I have, I think, 5 or 6 of them. Sometimes I'll have 4 or 5 going at the same time, because you know I love to batch cook. And I have a variety of sizes as well. So I think that a pressure cooker you don't have to have it to do this lifestyle. But I'll tell you, once I got one, then I was like, how did I ever cook without this? Because you just put everything in it, you put the lid on, set the time, and you let it do the rest of the work. You don't have to be at the stove stirring, you don't have to regulate temperature. If it gets done and you're not home, it's okay, because it just goes to warm and it won't ruin anything. I mean, it is amazing. You can cook everything in it. You can cook your beans in it. It does a great job of cooking dried beans and lentils and soup and stew and chili. And you can, if you like to make yogurt, you can make yogurt in it. It makes beautiful yogurt. It also has a slow cook function. I think the slow cookers work better than this. I think there's something, you know, I have a slow cooker, and I just think the slow cook function on this doesn't compare. But that's my personal opinion, but it does have that function that you can use as well. They are very safe to use now. This is not your mother's pressure cooker that, you know, would blow up and everything would go on the ceiling. So the 6 quart is a really nice size. If you're cooking, if you don't do a lot of batch cooking, if you're just cooking for yourself or 2 people, I think the 6 quart works really great for that. But Tom, will you bring me over the 8 quart and the 3 quart so I can show them that as well? And I like having more than one, because like when I make my lentil shepherd's pie, which is a great recipe for Thanksgiving, I can have the lentils going in one pressure cooker, and then in another pressure cooker I can be making my garlic mashed potatoes that are going to go on top of the shepherd's pie. So it just allows me to be more efficient with my cooking, and it just takes a lot less time. So this is the 8-quart, and then this is the little 3-quart.
That's not going to be on camera there.
Okay, so let's bring it
over to your right.
Over to my right.
All right,
and I love that the handle,
the
lids lock on, and then the handles. So what do we have in the picture? So this is the 8-quart. Now they've even come out with a 10-quart, even bigger than this. Now I would not be able to fit a bigger one than this in the cupboard where I keep them. And so I probably won't graduate to the 10-quart. But here's the deal. With the 8-quart, you can still make everything you would make in the 6-quart. But if you want to double some recipes, having the 8-quart allows you to double a lot of recipes. So you can do a smaller amount in a bigger pressure cooker, but you can't do a bigger amount in a smaller pressure cooker. So, you know, people always ask me all the time, should I get the 3, 6, or the 8? Well, you should at least get the 6. But if you have room, I would get the 8 because you can do a lot of corn on the cob in the 8. You can do, if you like whole artichokes, you can do 4 whole artichokes in here, and they do beautifully. So there's just a lot more that you can do in the bigger one than you can in the smaller. Now, the little 3-quart I also love. I initially bought this because I thought we were going to be doing some road trips this year. Ha ha. Pandemic spoiled that, but I thought it would be wonderful for taking with us on the road because it's small, and I knew I wouldn't be batch cooking on the road, so I thought for corn on the cob and potatoes and just doing vegetables and just to be able to cook potatoes in here, that this would be really great for travel. But what I use it for is a lot of grains. I cook grains in it, and it does beautifully. So I love oat groats, and I cook oat groats. My friend Sharon McRae taught me how to make them in a pressure cooker so that they come out kind of like brown rice, the texture of brown rice rather than a porridge. So I always make my oat groats in here, my quinoa in here, because I'm not making like a huge volume of that usually, and so it works beautifully for that. If you make my chipotle nacho cheese sauce and you want to keep it warm because you're setting up like a little buffet for the family for a meal, then you can put it in here and it will set it to warm, and it will keep it really warm and creamy. So, and it's just so cute. Don't you want it? I mean, it's so cute. So I love that. Pressure cookers, easy to use. If you follow me, you know I cook a lot in them. Any questions?
Yeah, Cook is asking, do you have a boil down to which one is better? You know, between the brands. We're in camera 1 here. Do you prefer one brand over another, or each one has its own attributes? Yeah,
I think they all work beautifully. I tell you, I also have a Cuisinart. That was my very first one, but it has
camera 1.
It has a Teflon liner, and so I just don't even use that one anymore. But I could buy a stainless steel liner and still be able to use it. I'd have to relearn the controls and stuff because it works different. So I think the Milthy and the Instant Pot, they all work really well. The function that Tom likes about this is that he can set it to do quick release.
Yeah, because I'm making my steamed vegetables nearly every day. That's why it's one of our essential items. We were talking earlier today that 10 years ago we didn't even own a pressure cooker, I don't think. And now a pressure cooker gets used nearly every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And that instant steam release is a game changer for me on that daily meal. But Tami's cooking, she's batch cooking, she's got to have the 8-quart. Milty does not have an 8-quart right now with the quick steam release. I imagine, you know, technologies are evolving on these rapidly across all brands. Linda Fletcher was mentioning that the slow cook function on the Milty, she prefers the Milty over the Instant Pot for even heating for the slow cooking function.
Nice. Good to know.
So that was shared. It's Sandra B in khaki blue. Yes, Tami does have a video. If you Google Nutmeg Notebook oat groats, that's all you got to do.
I have a video and a blog post.
Yeah, a video comes up and a blog post comes up that tells you how to make the
oat groats.
The best oat groats that I've had anybody comment on, because they're granular. It's not porridge. You can dispense them and
I use them
sprinkle a few in salad.
And I use them in a savory way instead of rice, and we tell you all about that on the video. So I would say just do your homework and look at the Instant Pot features and look at the Milthy features, and then decide which one is best for you. And I think Instant Pot has added some new features to the latest models. But I didn't have time to look that up before we did today's show.
Okay.
So
before I take you back over to camera 2, King's Child is asking how do other. Oh, we're going to be talking about the Milthy air fryer lid. They're asking about the air fryer top by Milthy.
Yes.
That's coming up on the list. So hang on, King's Child. We're going to be coming to that shortly here.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that. So Tom, I'm going to let you take these away.
Okay, I'm going to put you back on camera too.
And next, I'm going to be talking about the about chopping bowls. So can you get by with a whole food plant-based diet without a electric pressure cooker? Absolutely, of course you can. But is it nice to have? Yes, it just makes cooking so much easier. I mean, everybody's able to learn how to use it. You can teach your older kids how to use it, your older grandkids how to use it. Your husband can learn how to use it, and then they can fend for themselves. It's a really great thing. So now I'm going to talk to you. This is not absolutely essential, but we eat a chopped salad every day, and we have been eating one salad for one of our main meals every day since 2013. So 7 years going on 8 years of doing that, and that's one of the principles that Dr. Joel Fuhrman teaches, is to remember that salad is the main dish. And so we've been doing that for a long time. We started out, it was just like a regular huge big salad, and then we learned about chopping salads. And when we first learned about chopping salads, I bought an OXO chopping salad bowl, and it came with like a cutter that looks like a two-wheeled pizza cutter, but I couldn't find it today to show you. But this is what it looked like. So this is the economical way to go. It's under $30. I think it's around, is it 26 or something?
Yeah, I'll find it here.
For the chopping bowl, and it comes with a little chopper. But I did end up buying a mezzaluna knife to use in it. I have one of these at my parents' house. My parents live in Nebraska, and so when I go and stay with them to visit, I still want to eat my chopped salads, and so I just bought one of these to leave at their house. And I bought a KitchenAid mezzaluna.
We're on camera.
There it is, to go with it. So there you can see.
It's $25.99. And the roly thing works. I'm not a big fan of it, but it works.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it either. And so then when I was going to be leaving a salad bowl at my mom and dad's house, and I knew they weren't going to be using it when I wasn't there, then I just bought a KitchenAid mezzaluna knife, and I think we have that on our Amazon page too, so that I could do a salad. But I had to do the salad in 2 batches because this wouldn't hold a 1 pound salad. And so then we learned, okay, so then we learned about Holland bowl mill, and this is a 15-inch cherry bowl. We also have a 15-inch beechwood bowl, because this one's mine and the beechwood bowl is Tom's, and we have a mezzaluna knife, and so we chop it up in there, and it just makes really quick and easy work of it. We are an affiliate with them, and if you use our affiliate link and your a minimum of at $125 for your purchase, then they will give you the mezzaluna knife for free, which is really nice. It does not come with the holder, so you do have to buy that separately. Chopped salads taste amazing. That's why we chop them, because then you get all the flavors and all the goodness of all the vegetables in every single bite. It also reduces the volume, makes them easier to eat. I won't kid you, you still have to chew a lot because it's a lot of greens. And so it still takes a good 30 to 40 minutes to eat the salad, but it is a game changer. And people who didn't love salads before love them after they learn how to make chopped salads. And we've got videos all about that. And Holland Bowl will be having some Black Friday specials, and because we are an affiliate with them, as it gets closer, we will be announcing what their specials are.
A couple of questions on camera one about Holland Bowls. The lead time on them has been in the neighborhood of a couple of weeks. So if you ordered on our exclusive Nutmeg Notebook promotion last month, like on the last day, it should be going out any day now.
And if you're getting engraving, because you can get engraved, like this one says Nutmeg Notebook on the bottom, you can have your name engraved, or it could say Tammy's Kitchen. And so if you're going to have it engraved as well, then it does take a little bit longer to get that, because, you know, it's a family-run business. And also UPS is how they ship it. And, you know, they are so busy. Oh, we're still in camera one. They're so busy that, you know, it's taking longer to get your shipments as well. And that's not in their control.
Okay. The question from Linda asked, do you use beeswax or mineral oil on your Holland Bowl mill? I actually use both. I use the beeswax on the outside and on all of the inside. And my bowl is a couple years older than this one, so it's a little bit rougher down in the bottom where I've been chopping for so long. So I actually pour a little mineral oil in there to make sure that it soaks into the wood to seal that. So I use a combination of mineral oil.
And mine's ready to be waxed.
Yeah, it's time for waxing. So,
but anyway, we have we interviewed Holland Bowl Mill. What, a month or so ago, at the beginning of the end of September. And so you can go back and watch that video all about Holland Bowl Mill, and we got to see where they make them, and we talked all about the products there.
Okay, and to clarify on your comments, because question came up in the chat while you were talking about Black Friday promotions. I will be launching an email to go out at midnight on Thanksgiving Day, because promotion starts at 12:01 a.m. on the 20th, I think, if I read my calendar. No, the 27th. On the 27th, Friday at midnight, is when that email will go out with what's being released for the Holland Bowl Mill Black Friday promotions. So nothing going on between then and now, other than the free mezzaluna knife with the bowl. So if you can be patient and log on to hollandbowlmill.com/nutmeg, then you'll get the combination of our promotion along with the Black Friday promotion.
Yes. So it'll be double goodness.
So coming up in a week and a half is a good time to take a good solid look at the Holland Bowl. We had a telephone conference with Corey a few weeks ago and got all the timing and what the promotions were going to be sorted out. So yes, we know what they are. No, we cannot tell you.
But it's exciting. And they make wonderful gifts to you guys. So wedding gifts, anniversary gifts, Christmas gifts, Mother's Day, you know, all of that. And it's so fun that you can personalize it too.
Tiffany super chatted you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Well, it's both of us, Tom. It's both of us.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions about
I think I'm caught
chopped
up.
salads?
We're going to go back to camera 2.
Okay.
I'll raise my hand if anything else comes up.
Okay.
Okay, you're back on camera 2.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so since we are cooking without oil, it is really nice to have silicone bakeware. And they come in a variety of sizes and colors, and they just work beautifully. So because we don't use oil, you have to figure out how you're going to use baking recipes and not have things stick. And so the silicone is awesome. It works just like non-stick, but it's not Teflon. So it works beautifully. Now this was a set that I bought that all came together, you know, back when I went oil-free, probably 2013, 2015, in that time frame. So this set is no longer available on Amazon, but we have linked to ones that have really good ratings on on Amazon, and so that's on our Amazon page. And then this is really wonderful too, to be able to use this. So you can make a nice little like ice cream pie in this, and I like how this one comes off, but of course I can't get it off right now. Here we go. And so it works like this, and then it has the glass bottom. Isn't that cool, you guys? I love that. And so very easy, so that you can unveil it and have something really pretty. So if you don't have silicone and you want to be able to do some oil-free baking in the pans that you have, you can use parchment paper. So there are parchment paper liners, cupcake liners that you can get. We have them on our Amazon store. You can usually get them in a regular grocery store as well. And those are nice. They work almost like non-stick. And so the trick is to not try to peel the paper off until like the muffin or the cupcake has completely cooled, because if you do it too soon, which is also true with the silicone, then it might stick or break apart. But once you let it cool, it'll be great. You can also just take a regular 8 or 9-inch pan or a loaf pan, and you can cut parchment paper to fit. So you can do one piece long this way and leave the ends sticking out a couple inches so that you have something to lift it out. And I usually, if I'm using a regular pan, and then I'll do crisscross and I'll do another piece this way so that the sides are all covered with the parchment paper. So you'd have one piece in here going this way and one piece in here going this way. Leave yourself a couple of inches on the ends, and then you can lift it out. And that will also work for a loaf pan. And for a round one, I just take and I cut out a big circle, and then you can slit the kind of the a couple places, 4 or 5 places, just so you can fit it in nicely to make it nice and round. And parchment paper works good, but if silicone fits in your budget, it's a nice investment, because parchment paper you have to keep buying. And I have noticed that I do use some parchment paper, and I've noticed that Costco doesn't have it in yet, and they usually have it in this time of year for like holiday baking, and that's usually when I buy it and stock up on it, and they haven't had it yet. So, you know, yet another thing that we can't get because of the pandemic, I'm sure. So any questions about the silicone bakeware?
Yeah, a question from Jacqueline, and I was working over here, so maybe this, you may have mentioned this. Where did you get these from? Which I think you said, but
yeah,
not there
we
anymore.
got these from Amazon. It came as a set, but they don't have it anymore. They discontinued it. But we have linked to ones that have really good ratings on Amazon, and also ones that I know that my friends have that have said these are good. And so I have linked to some of them for you in there. And you know, they all are about the same price. And so, and it seems like
We're
this
in camera one.
Okay, and this was very inexpensive when I bought it. I don't remember how much it was now because it was so many years ago, but I didn't spend a lot of money on it, and I've been using them consistently for years. So they are very durable. They work great. So the trick to this is let things cool down. Like the first couple times I used them, I thought this doesn't work. Everything's sticking. But I was trying to take things out too soon. But once you let them cool down, then things will just, you'll turn it upside down and the muffins literally slide out of it. And I use this one all the time to make my chocolate cherry brownies, and they just pop right out. It's just, the silicone is amazing.
Gina says that she's not, this is older, that there's scratch and cuts in it. Will that change the non-sticky, you know, the efficiency of it?
It does not seem to have an effect. So, and I use a plastic knife when I do go ahead and cut something in it. I use a plastic knife. So, but
Okay.
it doesn't seem to make any difference.
Okay, going back to camera 2. So, yeah, going back to your camera. Yeah,
Okay.
we're having some lighting change going on here. So I'm working on that with some settings because
What's happening?
the sun went down. Well,
Oh.
your picture's coming out kind of yellowish, and
I'm not jaundice, honest.
yeah, camera one here is normal color, but when I'm coming back over to you now on camera 2, and see how it's yellowish over there on the monitor.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, so when you're eating this way, you're storing a lot of food in your refrigerator or in your freezer. And so you've got to have containers for that. So the most economical way is to, of course, buy plastic. But if you don't, and these are BPA free, these are made by Rubbermaid. It says they're dishwasher and microwaves and freezer safe. We put them in the refrigerator and the freezer, but we do not microwave them, and we do not put them in the dishwasher. We only hand wash them in order to avoid breaking down the plastic more. But this is an economical way to get started for food storage, because you can put soup, stew, chili, taco lentils, all kinds of things in these containers, and you can put them in the freezer. We also batch cook up large amounts of rice, divide it up into 4-cup containers like this one, and put those in the freezer. So these work really well for that. If you don't want to use plastic, then glass containers are a really nice option. These are the Snapwear sets, and we bought these at Costco. They're also available on Amazon. We have them on our Amazon store, and they have plastic lids, but it is a glass container. And so we love these. I have 3 or 4 sets of these because I like to have everything that is pre-cooked, batch cooked in the freezer. In the refrigerator, to be in clear containers like this so that we can see what we have. That way we can just open up the refrigerator. We don't have to open up all the containers. We can just see right through them and see what's in each one. So these work really great. They come in different sizes, and the square, the rectangular, and then there is a bigger one than this that's rectangular. They all have food in them in the refrigerator right now, so I didn't have one available to just show you. But these can also go in the dishwasher. They can go in the microwave without the lids on, of course, and these work really well. We can take them in our lunch coolers. It's really nice, and you do need to have some storage containers. Then this is called a jar key, and I showed this in a video a few weeks ago. So we don't use a lot of processed products, but we do use a few things that come in cans or jars. And so like we buy the pears or the peaches that are just in fruit juice from Trader Joe's. We buy the unsweetened applesauce that we use in a lot of baking recipes, and this is called a jar key. And what it does is you put it on the glass jars that have the lid on that is so tight that you can't get it off no matter how hard you try, and you just kind of lift up on it. It's kind of reminds me of a bottle opener, but what it does is it breaks that vacuum seal, and then the lid just magically will turn and come off. And so one of our viewers tipped us off about this. We were on the vegan cruise, the Holistic Holiday at Sea cruise back in early February before pandemic, and we were teaching some cooking classes, and one of the participants in the cooking class told us about this, and she was like, you have to get a jar key. And so we did, and I gave one to my daughter, and it's wonderful. So I can open up all of the jars by myself now, and that is so great. So I have that. And then the last thing that I want to talk, any questions about the storage containers? You can also use... I'm
on camera 1. I'm going to check.
Okay. You can also use mason jars. You have to be really careful if you're going to freeze things in mason jars. And I have not tried freezing anything in mason jars, but I know that you need to have the kind that are more straight up and down, that don't have a big shoulder. And you have to have so many inches of free space. So research it well before you try freezing things in canning jars. But for like the refrigerator, you can also put things in the jars to put in your refrigerator. So if you have a lot of canning jars around, use those for your food storage in the refrigerator, or also in your pantry for grains and beans and lentils and things like that. So, and you know, you can get really big ones, you can get really small ones, and those are also awesome. So, and you can get like the jelly jar size, you can get 8 ounce, there's 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 16 ounce, and it goes on up. So depending on what you want to store, but they're great for salad dressings and sauces and cheese sauce and all of those things as well. Okay.
Beth is asking, do you like or use microwave steamers? And if so, which one would you recommend?
I don't have a microwave steamer.
I know that Chef AJ uses her.
A lot of people use the Tupperware one, and then Pampered Chef also has one. But I don't have one. I have not used one. So I can just, you know, easily use, we have a steamer basket that goes down in the pressure cookers. And so Tom uses that a lot. And I also, if I just want to do something quick in the microwave, I have a glass bowl. I'll just put everything in the glass bowl and put it in the microwave. Or I'll do it using my little stainless steel steamer and my skillet just on top of the stove. So, but I know the Pampered Chef and the Tupperware one are very popular with people. So the next thing that, yeah, another question?
No, I'm still trying to sort out, switching over to camera 2 here. It's coming through with a yellow tinge over here on the main camera, so I don't know.
Well, what changed?
The sun went down.
Well, it did.
So it's been on a long time. I don't know.
Sorry. We'll have to figure that out.
So, yeah, back to camera 1. There's these really nice cameras that go with this new controller from the Blackmagic company, but they're, we need 2 of them, and they're, so anyway.
And they're how much a piece?
They're an investment.
How much a piece?
We haven't fully disclosed how much they are yet.
He hasn't told me that. He keeps telling me about them, though.
So,
because this is how he does things. He keeps bringing it up until I get to the point where I say, Tom, just go buy it. Remember on your, was it your sander?
no.
When we first got married, it was something.
Yeah.
He kept complaining about his whatever this piece of equipment was that he had for a couple of weeks, and then finally I said, you know, just go buy it, and he was like, yes.
Okay.
I know your method now.
All right.
I'm on to you, kiddo.
Well,
okay, so now
back to camera 2.
I want to talk to you about SouperCubes. So because I'm such a big batch cooker, we learned about, on the cruise actually, we learned also about this product called SouperCubes from someone who was in one of our cooking classes. And she said, you've got to check into it. You do your batch cooking. You're going to love SouperCubes. So what are they? They are silicone little molds. Think of like ice cube trays. So they're silicone, but they have a metal framework at the top, so they have stability. They can go in the oven. They cannot go in the microwave, but they can go in the oven up to 400 degrees. So what I do is, like yesterday, I made a huge batch of Dr. Furman's anti-cancer soup. I hate the name of that soup. I just put Furman soup when I put it in my freezer. That's how I label it. But it's a very delicious soup. And so what I did was I just filled these up with the soup. Now, they come in 2 cup, 1 cup, and half cup measures. And I don't know if you can see this on camera, probably not, but it has,
yeah, it's showing.
it has fill lines for you, because you know you need to leave some extra room for expansion in the freezer. And so it has a fill line. And it also has 1 cup, so you could use this as a 1 cup, or you can fill it to the 2 cup line. And so you've got 2 of them, and then you put the lid on it and you put it in the freezer. And then once it is frozen solid, then you just take them and you open it up. You let it sit out for a few minutes, and then you can literally just push your frozen item out, and then you can put it in a gallon size freezer bag, or if you have like Tupperware freezer containers, you can put it in that. And I'll show you the soup that I froze after making it yesterday. It's so great, and your soups, your stew, your chili, your taco lentils, your veggie loaf, whatever you make ends up taking up so much less room in your freezer. It's amazing. So here, in a gallon size bag, 4 of the 2-cup SouperCubes will fit in a gallon size bag. And then I just label it and date it. And you can either store these in your freezer flat and stack them, or you can stand them up on their side and just buy those freezer organizers, those clear plastic freezer organizers. Or you know what I do? I save the big bins that my spinach and my baby kale come in from, like the big box stores, and then you can use those and just stand them up. And then on the end of the container, you can just put some masking tape, or if you have freezer tape, you can put it on there, and you can write on there what you have. But very important to label them so that you will know what you have. And then I also did 1 cup, and so you can do 8 of the 1 cup in a gallon freezer bag. So that just works out really slick and easy. And I am just so in love with the SouperCubes because it has just made batch cooking so much easier. And then if I want to give some soup to our son or our daughter when they're visiting and I want to give them some stuff to take home, I can just put it in Ziploc bags and I don't have to give my containers away. So I really love that as well. So let me show you. Here are the 1 cup. And so it has the 1 cup measure in there, and then it has the 1/2 cup. So you could use it for either. So this is great for like marinara sauce, hummus. Because did you know you can freeze hummus, you guys? You can batch prep your hummus, and then you can freeze it in the SouperCubes, and then you can put it in containers to take in your lunch, or you can, you know, and it works as a little ice pack then to help keep your lunch stay nice and cold. So that is the 1 cup, and then there is also the 1/2 cup. And the 1/2 cup also has a 1/4 cup measure in there. So if you make your own salsa or salsa verde, you can put that in here. Again, you can do the hummus. If you want to mash up avocado and put that in here and freeze that, you can do that. I mean, we are loving it for us, for 2 adults. But I just think if you have kids, this would just be amazing to do for kids. And if you have little grandkids, great for them too, because you can freeze things in really small portions. And if anybody's making baby food, how awesome is this for making baby food? And the fact that you can put these in the oven, you could do little mini lentil loaves in here, bake them in here, and then pop them out, put them in the freezer, and then you will have nice little individual loaves for quick meals. So I'm loving that. And then they just came out with this, and I haven't had a chance to play with this yet, but this is their little cookie tray. How adorable is that? And this is the sprinkle, the purple sprinkle material, and it's so cute and fun and festive. But so you can mix up your cookie dough and then put it in here and then freeze it, and then you can pop them out and put them in a freezer bag, and then you can just bake however many cookies you want at a time. And so that is really cool too. But I think there's all different kinds of fun things that we could do with this because it's silicone. So also it would work great for, like, if you use a little bit of apple juice or pineapple juice and then you still have some left, you can put it in here, measure out like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. I haven't even measured how much this holds yet. So I don't know if it's 1 tablespoon or 2, but you could put that in here and then freeze it and then pop these out and put them in a freezer bag. So leftover tomato paste, you open up a can and then you have, half or 3/4 of a can of tomato paste left. So I think you can put it in here and freeze it and then pop those out and put them in a freezer bag. So these are brand new, super cute. Haven't tried them yet, but I'm excited to do that and see what the possibilities are for fun little desserts that could be frozen in here as well. So, and we are affiliates with SouperCubes. Here's what happened. We bought them. We were so excited about it. And we did one of our live YouTube videos and we showed about the SouperCubes, and the owners, the people who created SouperCubes, watched our video and then they asked us if we would like to be affiliates for them. So, because they were just impressed with our enthusiasm.
Switching to camera 1.
Sure.
Yeah, these fall into the category about the evolution of cooking, eating plant-based. We didn't even know about these 2 years ago, and it was when Tami was doing a cooking demo on the Holistic Holiday at Sea Cruise.
I already told him that.
Okay, so we went from not even knowing that they existed to now. I'm going to this soup. Did you grab the bag out of the freezer already?
I did.
Okay. Where I go looking for, I call it cube soup. Where I think I'm going to have cubes. If I'm not having my steamed vegetables out of the milty, then I'm probably having cube soup, which is any soup that was frozen in the SouperCubes. So they went from not being here at all to being an everyday, essential element of our kitchen tools.
Well, one thing that we love about it is we used to freeze our soup, stews, and chilies in these containers, and these hold 4 cups. But if only one of us wanted whatever was in this, we still had to thaw the whole thing out, even though only one person wanted to eat it. And
Which takes a long time.
It takes a long time to thaw out 4 cups. But now, because we're freezing things in 2 cups or 1 cup, it just makes it so easy for us to have individual servings, because then, if he wants a different soup than I want, or he's having soup and I'm having something else, he only has to thaw out that 1 amount. And then, before, then you would be left with the other 2 cups. And so somebody had to eat that the next day. So, so these have just revolutionized our batch cooking and our freezing. So can I want to finish something?
Sure.
I haven't tried baking the lentil loaf in these yet, but that is something that I want to try, is baking the lentil loaf in these, because I'm real excited about having those individual portions.
You could even get away with putting the glaze on top.
Oh, you could bake it in here.
Yeah.
Completely bake it and then pop them out and freeze them and have individual servings. You could do mashed potatoes, you could do, and then have it ready to go. And so then to heat it up, what we do is we put it in a glass bowl. So to heat it up in the microwave, or if you want to let it thaw out in the refrigerator, if you plan ahead a day, which I don't, but if you do, you could take it out the day before and thaw it out in the freezer, or you could put it in a saucepan on top of your stove and you could thaw it out and heat it up that way as well.
Catherine Santos is sharing, thank you for introducing us to the SouperCubes. They're truly a game changer, essential to my weekly food preps. Appreciate all that you do. So yeah, I was saying, they just like,
you're very welcome.
How did we get along without those before?
Yeah.
Debbie S., thank you for the super chat very much. Wow.
And go to SouperCubes has a Facebook page, and go to that, because the creators of it show pictures of their freezer all the time and give ideas on how to use these and different things that you can do with them. And so very creative.
Okay, so you saw Debbie S. did a super chat
Thank
for us.
you so much, Debbie. We really appreciate that. Thank you. That can go towards Tom's new camera. Cameras. Sorry, he needs 2.
See, the plural
not
is the,
one.
If
not
it was just one, I'd probably have it. So anyway,
Could you get one now and then one later? Maybe that could work.
Then
Can we be patient?
I'd still be doing this MacGyver setup.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Jacqueline is asking, how long are the soups good for in the freezer?
Well, that's a good question. You have to look at the recipe that you use. I think most say, you know, a certain amount of months. So you would just have to look that up.
When I'm foraging for something to reheat and eat on the quick, I do kind of rummage towards the back of the freezer to make sure I'm getting the oldest. And Tami does date them on the sticker she puts on them. So if you're rotating your inventory and cooking what you need to eat and eating what you've cooked that you need, it should kind of evolve into a revolving inventory that won't get too dated on you. So,
yeah, we always eat the old stuff first, but also depends on how you store them too. Like if you do the Ziploc bags, you have to make sure that you squeeze out as much air as possible.
Keep that frosting down.
What's that machine that we had that sucked the air out? What's that sealer that had the plastic bags?
I don't remember.
Okay, so I can't remember what's not super,
seal
something saver.
Just do vacuum food
A
sealer.
vacuum food sealer. If you have something like that, so you know how long they're going to last is partially going to depend on how well you package them to put them in your freezer. But look up, you know, approximately how long the storage is in the freezer for soup, stews, and chilies and that kind of thing. But I'll tell you, we've eaten them 6 months when they've been 6 months old, and they've been perfectly fine as long as they don't get freezer burned.
Okay, I wanted to clarify on the website for this for SouperCubes.
Oh yes. So about the discount.
Yeah, I put a note on this in the show notes. As Tami mentioned, we are affiliates of SouperCubes, but when you go there the first time. Anybody that goes there the first time, there's a pop-up window to get 10% off your first order. So at the moment, that's the only promotion going on is 10% off your first order. Of course, we appreciate it when you enter through our affiliate link that I have in the show notes. But pay attention that if you're going to get, you know, when you go back in a second time, like for a second order, which happens pretty regularly, it happened to us, then it's programmed that pop-up may not come up. So take advantage of the 10% off the first time. And then also I will be reaching out via email to Jake and Michelle to find out if there's anything going on with SouperCubes for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Don't know the answer to that yet. All of our affiliated companies that are doing that, I'll probably put in a single email letting you know what each one of them is doing. So we won't have you miss out on anything that our companies are making as an offer to you. So keep an eye out for an email from me.
Yeah, so I will say I have 2 of each size, but I would like 2 more of the 2-cup, I think, because this is the one that we use like the most of for soup, stews, and chilies. And so, but what I'll do is, you know, since I have 2 of these, then I'll fill them. And then I'll freeze them, and you know, I'll let it freeze overnight, and then the next day I'll pop them out. And if I have more soup, stew, or chili that I had made still left over, then I'll fill these again and freeze them. So you know, I get everything frozen within 2 days that way. But if I had 4 of these, then you know, it would just make my life easier, because then I could do it all at once. But then what I'll end up doing is like what I did yesterday, because I just wanted to get everything frozen yesterday. And so then I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and use my 2 trays of 1 cup, same difference. It's just, you know, we'll pull 2 of these 2 cubes out instead of 1 when we want to have a whole bowl. But sometimes in the wintertime when I'm having my chopped salad for lunch, it makes me cold, and so I want to finish with something hot. So 1 cup of soup works out really great for me for that. So these are good for that too, because then I can heat it up and pour it in a mug and just drink it.
Okay,
yes.
So we're at the end of our 90 minutes
Okay.
already.
Woohoo!
And I want to go out though with a celebration here. Carol has shared some lab results since she went on whole food plant-based diet in July of 2020. That's of this year, July of this year. Cholesterol's down to 117. Triglycerides, it was 161. and her triglycerides went from 221, are now 221 down from 259, and HDL 38 and LDL down to 35 from 62.
Yay!
So those HDL, LDL numbers are actually quite similar to what I experienced on mine. So congratulations, that's an amazing result. But also, when you do this right, that
those results are typical,
which
they never say
not very
on
many
TV.
companies ever say that about their pills.
That's right.
So congratulations,
That's
Carol.
fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. We all need something wonderful to hear like that.
Yes, very much so.
And Jacqueline says, thumbs up for Tami and Tom. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I cannot find the cookie tray on their page. I wonder if they're sold out of it. Tom will take a quick look here and look for that and see. So in other news, I also want to let you know that on Thanksgiving Day, the actual day of Thanksgiving, Chef AJ is doing a special show that day with plant-based SOS-free chefs. And I happen to be one of them. So I'm so excited. So there will be somebody doing the appetizer, the soup, the salad. I actually will be doing the entree. I'll be doing my lentil loaf with date glaze. And I've not done a video on that yet. And so that will be the first time that you get to see me do it. There's also going to be a dessert. My friend Shada will be on there as well. So it's a wonderful group of people that will be sharing recipes. We all get like a 15-minute segment, and Chef AJ will, you'll sign up for it. Chef AJ will send out a grocery list. So if you want to cook along with us, you'll be able to cook with us. So I'm super excited about that. She's been talking about it, I think, in her videos, and she'll be sending out a newsletter with information about that as well.
Okay, I just, on the SouperCube cookie tray, this is just the SouperCubes.com landing page. So if you click on our affiliate link, it will take you to this. And across here are the products, and of course right here are the cookie trays. And so they're there at $29.95. So I don't know if those are whole food plant-based cookies, but nevertheless.
Well, can you just put that link in the comments for her now?
Well, it's yeah, I can copy it off of it's on the show notes.
Yeah, but just put it in the comments.
It's going to disappear in just a moment, though. Yeah, SouperCubes here, right here. Copy this.
Copy, paste. So anyway, so that's going on. Do you guys have your menus finalized for Thanksgiving yet? Oh, I was going to start a thread about that on my Facebook page today, and we got so busy prepping for this that I forgot to do that. So I thought I would start a dialogue. I'll do a post on the Nutmeg Notebook Facebook page and let everybody post below what your menu is, and if you have any links to the recipes, then you can put those in there, and that way it'll just help everyone get some ideas on what other people are making, and it might inspire you for what you might make. And I know if this is your first holiday as whole food plant-based, it can be a little overwhelming. But if you saw our video last week, I did a whole Thanksgiving meal for you and showed you what a typical meal for us would look like and gave you recipe links. And then we just videotaped this week 6 new videos, and including the cranberry chutney and the apple oat crisp, and those 2 recipes are ones that appeared in the Health Science magazine fall issue of 2020 that I did all of the recipes for and the photography. And but I'll be sharing those recipes with you in those videos, and we'll do a blog post. And then we also I showed last week the Brussels sprouts and the butternut squash oven roasted with a pomegranate glaze, and we shot a video on that too. So, and I have on Facebook and Instagram, I did a post where I'm letting everybody vote on which one they want first, and it looks like the apple oat crisp is winning. So, and the Brussels sprouts seems to be coming in second, and then the chutney is third.
King's Child is asking, do you have any quick
I
helps
forgot
for the
to
Milty
talk
Crisp
about
Bread?
that.
And I thought I missed it because I was fiddling with camera settings.
No, you know what? I had
You're
that.
gonna need to go fast.
Okay, we'll go fast. So.
Okay, so air fryers, because we weren't gonna move it.
I know, we weren't gonna move it, and so then I forgot to talk about it.
Well, you find that, and I'll start over here.
Okay,
I'll start here with the difference between.
Okay, so you talk about the the Breville.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of news on the Breville. So you go ahead.
Okay, all right. So the Breville air fryer has a lot of different models now. And the very top one on the page here, the Breville BOV, people ask us, what Breville do you have? Because they get to either the Amazon site and it's confusing. So it's BOV 900 BSS. That's that top one. And it's, so far as Amazon is concerned, it's on a very significant sale right now. The retail's $4.99. It usually sells for $3.99, however, but right now it's down to $3.19, and that's the same price they had it down to last year, I believe. So that's the one we have. And what's important about that is the muffin baking pan, the cookie sheet that Tami uses in a lot of her recipes and talks about in a number of videos, fit in that oven, and that allows her to bake small batches of potatoes, large batches of chips, and not have to turn on the big ovens. It also heats up quicker, so it's a real time saver. So if you're looking at a Breville, that's actually the one that we recommend. It has 2-year warranty and well worth the money. Other folks have been getting some of these other ovens, like this black one on the top here, BOV 845. That is a smaller version of the air fryer. If you have a smaller, and go to the specifications and get your dimensions there. But my point is that there's a newer model out, Smart Oven Air Pro, and it comes with different face colors, and the whole unit is smaller, and the interior is also smaller. So I'm coming back to camera one, Tami, or camera one. So you need to keep that in mind when you're looking at these. If you have a local Bed Bath & Beyond, it's at $3.19 at Bed Bath & Beyond, and then you should be able to also use your 20% off sticker if you have access to that.
Coupon.
Not available online. So that for those of you that are fortunate enough to have a brick and mortar store, you can do this. If you are not in proximity to a brick and mortar store, then you have the Amazon, and our link is in the show notes, the Amazon price to go by. And
with free shipping.
With free shipping, and get that for a net price of $3.19.
But of course, the better deal is the Bed Bath & Beyond, but they won't let you use the 20% off coupon online. You have to go into the store. And if you don't have a 20% off coupon, if you go online and sign up to get their newsletter, then you will get a 20% off coupon code. And you should be able to take your smartphone in with you to the store and show them, it should have a scannable UPC code with it, and then you can get the 20% off.
So however you can get one, whether it's from Bed Bath & Beyond or through our Amazon link, highly recommended. Now, we were going to touch, there was a question. I got to get back over to where I can see the chat feed here. I lost it. Here it is. There was a question earlier about the crisp lid, what we thought about the crisp lid, I think in general, way back up in the feed.
Okay.
And I just figured we'd be getting to it.
Oh, okay, great. So what they're talking about is the crisp lid. This was made by the Milty company, the company that makes this pressure cooker. And are we still on camera one?
You're on camera one.
Okay. And it turns any electric pressure cooker with a stainless steel liner, and it has to be a stainless steel liner. It cannot be a non-stick coated liner, but it turns any 6 or 8 quart, doesn't matter the brand, into a little air fryer. And so what you get with it is you get this lid, you get this little trivet, and you see how it's taller than the trivets that come normally with the pressure cookers. And that is, it goes down inside to elevate it for the air fryer basket. And they, when they first came out with it, they had a very shallow air fryer basket, and people requested that they make it deeper, which they did. So you can see it's deeper. And then that fits in here. You put the handle down, put your potatoes in here, your corn on the cob, your vegetables, your mushrooms, whatever it is that you want to do. And then this is the air fryer attachment. And so you are...
Here, let's take you back over to camera 2 for that.
Okay.
Show them over there.
And you are not plugging in the pressure cooker. You leave the pressure cooker not plugged in. And then this sits on top. And it is made so that it works with either a 6-quart or an 8-quart. It does not have to be the Milthy brand. And then this, it also does, it has a dehydrate function, or it has an air fryer function, which is really cool. And so then you just set the temperature on here and push start, and you put the time in, and you can choose either dehydrate or air fry. And when you lift the lid, that deactivates it, so you are able to lift off the lid to turn things over or check on them. And then you put it back on, close that, put the handle down, and start it again, and it works great. So you get this, you get the basket, you get the trivet, you get a pair of really nice tongs, and you also get a little hot pad so that you have a safe place to put this when you take it out. It works beautifully. So almost every night Tom has a chopped salad for dinner. He makes a Mexican chopped salad, and he likes to have tortilla chips with it. And so of course he's using the Breville air fryer for that, because he can do the quantity of chips he likes in the big air fryer. And so if I want to have air fried potatoes or corn, or sometimes I'll heat up my whole meal in here. I'll put a frozen veggie burger that I've made and batch prepped and made and frozen. I'll put that in there. I'll put my broccoli in there, and I'll put potatoes or corn on the cob, and I'll do it all in here because he's busy. He's got the other one, the big one, busy, and it works great, you guys. So it's wonderful if you are short on kitchen space or kitchen storage, or you're just cooking for 1 or 2 people. It is perfect for that. It actually works a little bit faster than the Breville does for the air frying, because it's smaller and it's also closer to the heating element. And so instead of like 20 minutes, it might take only 15 to make French fries. So you just have to kind of play with it a little bit as far as temperature and length of time, but I've been super happy with it. I also have used the dehydrator function on it, and it works really well. In one of our videos, I show how to make crispy snacks using chickpeas. You just season them and then dehydrate them, and or no, that wasn't dehydrated. It was the cookies. That was, the chickpeas are just used with the air fryer. It worked really great for that. But I did make dehydrated cookies in this, and it worked really well for that. So the dehydrator function works too. Question?
So as far as supply on these, they have been out of stock for some time. I think we mentioned this earlier in this video. They are back in stock now. Going to the Milthy to our link down in the show notes directly to the Milthy site. And then I also, next to that, if you have Amazon points to use up, it also currently is available on Amazon. And as I mentioned earlier, we're waiting to hear if they're having Black Friday promotions. I don't know that they are yet. We'll find out, and of course we'll put that in the email if they do. But if you're looking to get something small and a good price for having an air fryer, I'm not so sure I would wait around, because I expect the inventory will go dry again.
Probably.
So anyway, so just be wary of that.
Yeah.
On this guy.
But they got enough parts in to make them, so they do have a supply of them right now. And so for a small kitchen, or just if you don't want to have more appliances around, I think this is great. And also, if you do road trip traveling, let's say you stay in Airbnbs or you, you know, go to a cabin or anything like that, I think this would be great because you can take your 6-quart pressure cooker with you, and then you can take the crisp lid, and you can still have French fries, oil-free French fries. So that's just like super exciting. And I was excited about that for this year too. But oh well, next year. We'll be traveling next year, I hope.
Yeah. Do you ever have problems with it burning stuff?
Well,
you have to keep an eye on it.
Only if you leave it in too long. I mean, you know, you can do that in anything if you leave it in too long.
Yeah.
So
the heat from the, no, I forgot which camera we're on. We're on camera 1. The heat from this is closer to the food, so you do have to watch it more carefully. It will heat things up, like, as she mentioned, more quickly than the Breville.
Yeah,
so,
like if I do my French fries in here, it takes less time than it does in the Breville, because in the Breville it's further away, and this is just a smaller area and it's closer. So, but have I burned anything? I don't think I've burned anything in it. And because this is,
you need to take a drink of juice, you're losing your voice.
I know. And this is clear, this is glass, and so the nice thing about it is you can come over and you can take a peek and you can see what's happening in there. So if it is getting too brown or it's just right and you need to turn things over, you can see right through the glass to know that you need to do that.
Okay, so I would like to thank our moderators for their diligence this evening. It looks like you were pretty busy there for a while. So thank you, Randy, Tiffany, and Jesse for looking after those silly trolls and answering the questions that you did.
Thank you so much, you guys. I don't know how we would do this without you.
And
so
now,
everybody give them a
hands. And if you haven't,
clap.
click us a thumbs up if you would. And then, like, I don't know what else. I think we're at 109 minutes. That's what I was going to say. We're 19 minutes over our hour and a half. But we forgot the air fryers.
I know. So thank you for whoever mentioned that. I had it on here and I just skipped over it. I don't know how I did that. Didn't I have them on it? Maybe I forgot to write it in.
It's not.
You know what? It's not written down. That's what happened.
Because they were the biggest things. We're going to save until last.
I was like, we'll do those last. We won't forget. Okay. But that's how things go.
You're getting some applause from a couple of folks.
Well, I hope that it's applause for the moderators.
Oh, that could be too. Yes.
Yeah, I would hope so, because they do such a great job, and they allow us to be able to do this so much more easily. So thank you guys. You're awesome.
Okay, so watch your emails from Nutmeg Notebook on what's coming up, because our schedule will be a little bit different on the holidays, so I don't want to commit to what we're doing just yet.
Right, and you guys, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. 10,000 followers on Instagram. And earlier today, I was at like 9,275. So once I get to 10,000, then I get more tools and things available to me to use on Instagram, so I can make more interesting posts. So if you have an Instagram account and you don't follow me yet, please go to Instagram and follow me. If you don't have an Instagram account, it's free. So go to Instagram, create an account. You don't even have to post anything, but you do have to have an account in order to follow me. And then if you would follow me, I'm trying to get to 10,000 so that I have exposure to the new tools that they have.
And as she looks forward to getting to 10,000 followers on Instagram, I'm looking to get to 2 Blackmagic video cameras for our studio setup here, so I don't have strange color issues and voice lag during our production. So Tami, if you have a chance to sign up for 2 Blackmagic cameras, let me know.
I think he's dropping hints for Christmas. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Maybe that's what he's doing.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Tami.
And we help you
get healthy
and stay healthy,
one meal at a time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining us, you guys. You are the best.